What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raymond coming at you with another video, and we gotta talk about the Florida, you know, uh, situation in regards to marijuana, man. We just have to. Some people are talking about it being bad for the price of marijuana. Some people are saying that there's some fraud going on with the voting and it's all rigged process. So we gotta speak about this, man. But before we do, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. All that stuff really helps out the channel. Plus, we'd love to have you be the newest member of the flock. The flock is for life. So come join us, guys. We'd love to have you. The air is for everyone. Now, here's the thing, right? I had just covered this on the channel. This is from a website called MJ Biz Daily. It says that it's been doing cannabis business info since 2011. I don't normally look at marijuana info like this, but I've been keeping track of the Florida bill because like one part of me is like, well, ethically, morally, I think that marijuana is not a big deal, and I got no problems with drugs all being legalized for adults in general because the war on drugs is a farce, and we lost that a long time ago in every state, not just Florida. And I said as a former police officer, dude, if people get angry or whatever, but it is what it is, man. If we just stopped and just literally legalized all drugs for adults and we just taxed them just for using it, excuse me, dude, and you could regulate the quality of the drugs and all that. I mean, California is basically allowing vagrant, addicts and whatnot to shoot up in their home in certain little cubicle, spaces. So why not? We're already going down that path, dude. So as far as like ethics are concerned and the moral implications of drugs, sorry, dude. Even though I'm a conservative and I'm a Christian, I think that just drugs, as long as they're used by adults and the science behind the drugs like effect on the brain, for example, like marijuana. Since we're talking about marijuana in this instance, it has been demonstrated to show. It has been demonstrated to alter a adolescent's brain. It has been shown to alter a teenager's brain. It has been shown to alter young adults' brains because our brains do not really mature until your late 20s or so. Some people later, some people earlier. So, some people say males don't mature until 40, but that's a joke, and we're not talking about that here. I mean, so I imagine maybe some adult males do really take the 40, but that's not what we're talking about here. But the reason why I voted against the legalization of weed in my state, in Florida, is because I use medical marijuana and we get really good prices on medical marijuana because of the fact that there's a very limited pool of people and they have to keep wellness and freshness standards on the weed. So they're constantly putting sales, constantly, and sometimes they're really good sales, dude. Like the other day, it was on Curaleaf. It was 4 edible packs for $11. But if you bought four, they gave you a fifth one for free, as long as you make sure to take advantage of the deal. Because if you just put four there in your cart, then you're screwed. You don't get the fifth one. But if you took advantage of that deal and you read everything and you put it in the fifth marijuana edible packet, you're golden, bro. So I wasn't about to give up my prices, dude. I just wasn't. It says a campaign to legalize recreational marijuana in Florida has collected enough signatures to send the proposed ballot language to the state Supreme Court for review, according to election officials. Sorry for that pause, you guys, but there was a serious grammatical error there. Smart and Safe Florida, the organization behind last fall's failed adult use ballot initiative, submitted more than 377,000 signatures to the State Division of Elections, the Tallahassee Democrat reported. Now, in accordance with state law, the Florida Supreme Court will parse the measure's language to ensure it meets a single subject requirement. In 2024, the adult use campaign survived a legal challenge from former state attorney general Ashley Moody, now a sitting U.S. senator, to make it to the November ballot. It's not yet clear whether the administration of Republican Governor Ron DeSantis, who campaigned against Amendment 3 after Moody's failed bid to keep legislation off the ballot, will mount a similar effort this time. However, the Smart and Safe initiative is already nervous that new restrictions on the state's voter initiative process, that DeSantis signed into law on May 2nd could thwart or seriously hinder any legalization efforts. Now, here's the thing. Check this out. It says, so in May, attorneys for the campaign asked the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Florida to partially block a new law that requires signature gatherers to be Florida residents, the Orlando Weekly reported. Here's the thing. This website is obviously pro-marijuana, right? No problem with that. I feel that knowing that information, I can see where this stands, and I kind of understand, okay, the bias is going to be bending for marijuana use, and basically, as little legal ramifications, as little, red tape as possible. That's what I imagine. Now, having said that, do I see a reason why a signature gatherer for the ballot initiative should be a Florida resident? I could see a reason for that. I could see an argument for that. And that would be that obviously it takes a Florida resident to basically think what is best for Florida at that time, and what their neighbor, what is best for their neighbors, and, into account, because they have a vested interest in Florida and Florida politics. All that being said, do I really agree with this? Dude, again, I'm a conservative, but this is like petty, desperate attempts to not get it legalized, and I'm sure that there's other more valid avenues if you really don't want to get it legalized, dude. And at the end of the day, I think that it could even be vetoed by Ron DeSantis if he found the way to do it, man. I know what you're saying. Oh, it'll pass if it makes the votes. Yeah, bro, but you know what? Politicians are going to do what they want to do anyways, and then who's going to take these people into account, man? And I say that loving Ron DeSantis. I love Ron DeSantis. I think he's the best governor in the country. But bro, that you're gonna ask me, Mav, is he gonna act like a cowboy on this? Probably, man. Probably. He probably will act like a cowboy and do whatever the hell he wants, And that sucks, man, because we need to follow the will of the people, and not this big government, bullshit where they're the big brother or they're your parent and they know what's best for you and they know what's, good for you here and bad for you there and all that. No, man, dude, if you're an adult, come on, brother. Anyway, so in May, attorneys for the campaign asked I read that. But Mark Walker, chief judge for the U.S. District Court on Wednesday, upheld most of the new state law, including the residency requirement. Interesting, according to the Tallahassee Democrat. Elections officials already are greeting the adult use effort with hostility. In April, the state fined Smart and Safe $121,850 for alleged violations of campaign laws. Really? I wonder what they did specifically. That's a lot of money, dude. Not in the grand scheme of things. I'm sure these are millions and millions of dollars for each campaign, for both pro and con, but that's still money, dude. That's still a lot of money. That's a lot of donations. I'm sure that hurt. With the biggest medical marijuana only market in the United States, Florida is considered the next big expansion opportunity for adult use operators. Yeah. As was the case in the 2024 legalization effort, Tallahassee-based True Leaf Cannabis Corp., the largest MMJ company in Florida, is the biggest bankroller of Smart and Safe's second try. To date, True Leaf has contributed more than $19.6 million to the campaign, according to Smart and Safe's financial records. So I mean, look at that. Even True Leave, excuse me, they donate $19.6 million. That already kind of makes the 121.850 K. It makes that look like, all right, big deal. This is gonna heat up, you guys. This is gonna heat up for real, and this is gonna get probably a lot uglier before it gets, calm and normal. But that's just my opinion, man. We got a comment section down there. What do you guys think about it? Tell me, because I know that not everybody watching this is going to be in Florida or even in the United States. Tell me what you think about it. What are the weed laws where you're living in? What are the, and if you're out of the states, what are the drug laws? Things for like cocaine and heroin and everything else. Let me know down below, man, because this is interesting stuff to me as former law enforcement. But yeah, you guys, as always, I tell you guys, man, I love hanging out with you guys. It's my pleasure. Stay safe. Stay based.